So I was wrong about Sora 2. Sora 2 is way better than I was expecting, and I found a new way to access Sora 2. So shout out to Theoretically Media, and also another creator on YouTube has a whole, shock. It's called 100 plus shocking examples by AI Samson. I'll show you guys a couple examples from his video, but we're not going to react to his video. This is just showing you guys I was using Sora. Actually, I'm not wrong about the social media content portion from my perspective. I mean, more so addressing that I was wrong about the quality and the use. Okay, so here's what I'm trying to say. Before, we saw Sora 2 as a social media platform, almost like a TikTok competitor. And I was saying how this new AI video generation platform is great for creating funny videos and comedy skits and stuff. But recently I used the API through a website called FAL or FAL, however you say it. And this is where you can generate the 1080p horizontal videos. So landscape 16:9, and you could generate basically like real footage. So this is where I think they separated it on purpose. So the app of Sora, which I'll show you guys in a second here. So this is the app called Sora. You can download this on your phone, and you could access it on desktop as well. Now, this is what most people are talking about when they're talking about Sora AI. They're talking about this. And let me turn the volume down because this volume is very, 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 very loud. So keep that in mind. The volume's super loud. Okay, so for example.
No way! Hey, Dad!
Happen?
Okay, it's a weird generation.
Don't do it. You know, when you double tap the screen, nothing will happen.
Can you guys hear the audio? What up, Gray Fox? Sing along is here. Is the audio good from the desktop?
There we go.
Here we have Bob Ross cutting some trees in some dude's head.
Just a few happy little trees.
So people call this AI slop because
right where they want to live.
It's just people throwing in a prompt and the AI generating a video. So this is what we saw in the forefront of Sora 2. But this is more so the social media aspect of Sora. I'm going to show you guys a whole different side to Sora, which is how to generate HD video as if we're creating movie clips. Okay, Sir Bones is here. Hey, Busy, what Mac do I have? Mac Mini M4 Pro. M4 Pro. I think it has, 2 terabytes of space. I should have got more internal space, to be honest. I should have gone for 4 terabytes. It's only 24 gigs of RAM in here. And what else is in here? I don't know the video card. So that's all I know. All right, so it's basically Sora, the app, is remixing.
Where Sora changes its content.
Sora is basically allowing people to use different characters to create different scenarios. And this is what I initially thought Sora would become, is like a new version of social media, which it is. People are creating things that are just funny ideas, funny concepts, or creative concepts. And now we're only looking solely at the generations, and we're not worried about the person. We're not worried about they're flashing their Lamborghini. We're not worried about them just trying to, rise up a social hierarchy. We're worried about the idea and the generation. Sir Bone says, is that what you use to make beats or just stream to YouTube? Yeah, this is what I do I make beats, stream, and I make software products on here. I can pretty much do everything that I do. And light video editing. I don't do intense video editing, but it's good at video editing too. But again, my wish is that I got more terabytes on the internal space. I should have gone to 4 terabyte. I have 0 complaints. This thing is a lifesaver. Coming from a MacBook with 64 gigs of RAM and like the spec all the way out, the MacBook is nothing compared to the desktop. So
Changes its content violation policy.
So basically people are coming up with ideas, different time eras. So this is what we thought Sora was about. And this is why I said I'm wrong, because I thought this was it. I thought this was like how we're going to use it. But turns out you can create stuff on a site. Like these are third-party companies that use what's called an API. So an API is a request sent to the original creator, in this case, OpenAI. And the request pulls from the intelligence from OpenAI and it sends it back to the third-party company. That's kind of how I'm understanding it. Okay. So basically they're a vendor selling the services of somebody else. So you could use Sora 2 on other platforms like Higgsfield, which I talked about before. Like, I think they said, what was the other platform? Higgsfield. There's one more platform. I don't know why I'm going blank. I want to say Leonardo might have it, but there's another platform. I don't know why I'm going blank. Replicate might have it. But I know for sure FAL has it. So the only thing is the cost is a little, like I ran through my credits pretty fast. I put $20 in, I'm already at $9. Okay, so it says, here's how it works. If an OpenAI API key is provided, it will be directly charged by OpenAI, meaning if you have an account on their website with your money in it, it will charge it to that account. Basically, this didn't work from this website, so I don't know why they even said this because I tried it, it didn't work. And it says, otherwise, you will be charged FAL credits. The pricing is 30 cents per second. Okay, that's a lot of money. 30 cents per second is a lot. Now, I don't know how much it costs coming from OpenAI, if it's the same price, but 30 cents per second for 720p and then 50 cents per second for 1080p. So basically, if you want to create a 14-second video, you're looking at $7 already, just off of one video. So that, or did I do the math right? Or $6 on a 12-second video. No, it's not part of Gemini. So this is by OpenAI. So Gemini is by Google. Google Gemini, they offer VO3 currently. I'm sure they're working on VO4. So basically, here's, some stuff I've created. I just want to show you guys. So here's a video. Let me read the prompt real quick. So the prompt on this one was music producer with purple camo bape with sharp. So the reason I give it these specific instructions is I want to see, does it understand product language and does it understand aesthetic of our culture? So I give it really specific stuff like music producer with a purple camo bape. I meant to put hoodie, bape hoodie with shark teeth, plays beat over speakers, but the beat is a cheesy rap beat and sounds very bad because of his mixing skills. So what I'm going to do is use these in my actual ads that I'm going to run. This is going to be the 3 to 5 second hook, and then I'm going to flip it, and then I'm either going to interject myself talking to the camera, or I'm going to, demonstrate something on the screen or something to make the ad more compelling. So this is how I'm going to use it as a business, so I can justify the $6 it cost me to make a 12-second video. Okay. Now it is very costly, so that's why, you want to, I guess, the reason they did Sora for free on their app is so you can probably get used to prompting, so that when you level up and go HD with the video, then you know for sure how to get closer to your actual target. All right. So here's here's what up, Dantana. So here's what you get with Sora 2. Not only do you get video, you get audio that matches the video. So let's play this. And it looks like the DAW. So my critiques before, it used to have machines that didn't look anything like anything we would use. This looks like a real KRK speaker. This looks like real acoustic paneling. What else is in this picture? Hold on. That looks like a real lava lamp. The lighting looks real, reflecting off the walls. The hoodie could be better, technically, but I forgot to put bape hoodie. I put bape. I just didn't even put the hoodie part. So that's my mistake. The mic looks like a Shure SM58. You got some headphone cans back here, and then you got a real laptop that looks like a Pro Tools session. So all this looks real. The only thing is, like, there's some kind of ambiguity in terms of like the keyboard, but it's not super HD, but it still looks real. So I'm going to hit play without further ado.
Hold up. That's the drop right there. Crispy. Bass hit it, you hear it? All right. I think that's it.
So again, I told the prompt, I meant to turn the volume up too, by the way. I told the prompt, I want a producer to make a bad rap beat over the speakers. And my goal with this ad is I'm going to play him for like 3 to 5 seconds or something. And then I'm going to go to some kind of offer where I teach people how to mix better to solve their problems with their mixes. So I'm going to use these AI to create these different scenarios that I can't really recreate in my home. Like, I don't want to always be a character in the skit. Sometimes I want to generate quick ideas. And then this way too, if you guys have an offer as a business, you basically create a bunch of AI hooks. Let's say you create 10. That's going to cost you $60 for a 12-second video. Or you could do smaller videos and do more. But regardless, let's say it costs you $60 to make 10 videos. Okay. What you can do is use those 10 videos as the beginning portion of your hook, your video, and then use the same exact core content. So for example, if I'm teaching somebody how to mix an 808, a quick little tip, but then I stitch in, these 10 different videos that I created as the hooks. So now I can run ads on all these variations without changing the core message of the content. So this is my way of showing you guys how to use this for practical use. And this is how I will be using it. So.
Yeah, check it. Hold up. That's the drop right there.
That looks like a real person.
Bass hitter, you hear it? All right, I think that's it.
The only weird thing about this video is when he goes to like lift the hood for some random reason, and then it just kind of goes blurry. So that is a random movement, like right here. It just kind of gets kind of, you know, as I watch it in slow motion, wow, that's actually very crazy. That's weird. If you go in slow motion, it looks very real. Wow, that's so weird. So I'm going to go in slow motion. This looks so real. So what he's doing is pulling his hood back, pause, I guess, to where you can see his hair. And then he pulls it back down because he realizes he didn't get his hair cut. That's crazy. In slow motion. Okay, so in real motion, I thought it was just a blur, but it's actually not a blur. That's insane.
That's the drop right there. Crispy. Bass hitter, you hear it? All right, I think that's it.
Bruh, that person looks so real. And it's the exact archetype of person that would wear a hoodie like that. So let me show you guys some other videos I've generated. Oh, you think that's Ableton? Is that Ableton? That KRK looks super real. And I wanted to show you guys, you reminded me too of Google Gemini I think it's Google Gemini got better. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, I want to say Google Gemini got better. Let me show you guys a picture real quick. I gotta go to my folder. So as a quick little anecdote here. Oh my gosh, she's crying all the time. Hold on, y'all. Let me play some music. All right, guess he's done. Okay. So basically on Google Gemini, I don't know if they made the update official or if they told us or not, but they definitely got better in terms of quality. So these images here, you can also do not only text to video prompting, you could do image to video prompting. So you could take something like this, for example, and then animate it through Sora 2. And this looks extremely real. It looks like a producer at a console with some Yamaha HS7s or 8s behind him, and then a bunch of, you know, a patch bay and some kind of compressor or something back there. Dan Tanner says, did you upload that beat to the AI site? No, it did all the beat and the music by itself. Now, I'm sure the beats and the music will get better. So I wasn't looking to make it the greatest beat in the world. Do you think Shaperbox and Valhalla Vintage Verb is worth $150? I don't use Shaperbox, and I don't really mess with Valhalla Vintage Verb like that. It's just based on what you get inspired by. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer for those type of plugins. It's more creative inspiration. So though, you know, this is the quality we're at, and this is before upscaling. So this looks like a real picture. So something happened on Google side to where they definitely upgraded, because this looks very, very, very real. But what's even more cool that I found out is Google has definitely updated their branding and their product awareness. So for example, before when you would type in like synthesizer, it would give you some random thing with a bunch of lights on it. And we know as producers, our gear barely has lights on it. That's not a realistic thing. So now they could do patch, modular synths with all these cables. It could do, it actually says Moog right here, Mini Moog Voyager. That's what it says on the panel. You have, what is this here? There's even a Roland type logo right here. Now it doesn't perfectly say Roland, but you can kind of think it says Roland. And so they're getting better at product awareness, which is a very difficult and niche thing to do. So Google is definitely stepping up their AI image generation, that's for sure. And it's not talked about because I'm sure they're doing these updates just kind of slowly behind the scenes. But these all look like real synthesizers that you could use on your web pages. You could use as backgrounds. You could use in your product art. You could use it as your Instagram content. You could use it as a background for when you do the green screen videos. Promo material for our music and products. Yeah, it's just, I wish people would stop demonizing it because they can level up so much faster if they just used it. And here's another picture where I typed in music producer with an artist, but he can't record or something like this. So the microphone looks very real. I don't know why he's holding two microphones, but he has like a 58 in his hand. And there's a Neumann, looks like a U87 in the middle, you know, with some realistic console in the background. Now, does the whole console look natural and real? Not necessarily, but to the average person just looking at it, it looks realistic though. And then you got the mic cable management here at the bottom, which looks very real. excuse me, the way that cable coils and everything. So this is just like an anecdote I wanted to make because you can also do image to video with Sora 2. And we're going to do something today. So I want to take this image to video and create a scenario. So let's open up a tab. Now, the one downfall, I'll say, is at the fall website, I've had errors doing image to video for some reason. So I'll try it again, but if it gives me another error, you know, I don't know if they charge me for errors or what, but it could be costly. And we'll also try, actually, we only have one more generation left. Actually, let's just do a text to video prompt because we only have one more credit left, basically. So here we're going to type in a prompt. Let's type in a scenario. Let's do a music producer eats, what's something sloppy like pad thai, eats pad thai over his MPC 2000. The reason I'm using these specific products is I want to see, does it even have knowledge of these products? So a music producer eats pad thai noodles, I'll say, over his MPC 2000 XL, and some sauce drips onto the MPC. What else do we want in this scene? I don't know. Okay, music producer eats pad thai noodles over. I'll just leave it at that. Let's do, why can't we do 1080p anymore? What the freak? Did it not, what happened? They won't let us do 1080p anymore? What is going on here? Oh, is this not the pro version? I think I clicked on the wrong one. Okay, so you got to be careful to make sure you guys are clicking on the text to video pro and not regular text to video. So pro gives you 1080p. Okay, there we go. I was wondering, I'm like, I know something's not. Okay, a music producer eats pad thai noodles over his MPC 2000 XL and drips some sauce onto the MPC. I'm trying to think of what happened next. Okay, he drips sauce onto his MPC and speakers catch on fire. No, that doesn't make any sense. I'll say eats pad thai noodles with chopsticks. I want to get very specific. Chopsticks. He's wearing a Bape. Let's see. He's wearing a purple camo Bape hoodie with shark teeth. And what else can happen in this scene? Okay, he's eating pad thai. Sauce drips on his MPC. And then the craziest beat plays out of his Yamaha. Now I'm getting very specific. HS8 speakers. What up, Gene? Everything circuits out? I thought it was, but it was just me. I was on the wrong tab. Now, if we run a 12-second video, this may take more time, and it's definitely going to cost me, what, $6? I only have, I'll have $2 left in the account. So let's run this. Now, it does take time. So this is not like click a button, you're going to get it. It's very slow. At least it was slow last night. So that's why I'm doing this live stream, is to show you how long it will actually take. Let's go to some more generations here, and then I'll show you guys some other tools I use to create marketing and ads. So for example, if you guys didn't know, at busyworksbeats.com/black. So I practice what I preach, y'all. I'm not saying this just to say it. Hold on here. Let me see if I can pull up the Photoshop files too. I guess it doesn't matter because the image is the image. Duh. Let me pull up one more tab here from Mixboard. Trying to put you guys up on game. If you're here, smash that like button. I'm about to put you on some real product design game real quick. Just give me a second to load it up. Okay, so here at busyworksbeats.com/black, this is my new offer for the year. We do it once a year. And basically, it's everything we've ever offered. 3,000 sounds, 4 plugins with 1,000 sounds. And plus, you could tweak the preset how you want. And there's 80 courses, which is insane. So it's basically everything I've ever offered for one price, which the price is way undercutting myself. The value is $5,000 plus, and I rounded it down. So here is the product art I wanted to show you guys. And this product art, let me look around. For the most part, 90% of this stuff, except for Halo and Hercules and my plugin Hypnos, the interface, but the artwork for it was all AI generated, except for this live stream image too. So basically everything here, let me look around, is all AI generated art. Okay, all of it, except for the Hercules interface and my Halo 3D plugin. Those aren't AI generated. I had to manually come up with those interfaces. Okay, so I'm trying to scroll to see all the AI art. All right, all AI art. And it's consistent, it's cohesive. So I'll show you guys how I did this. So if you go to, and let's check on the Sura tab, maybe it got faster. Okay. So this is a, I don't know what they call them, apps or what they call them, but this is, I'll say, an app inside of Google Labs called Mixboard. So for the people who watch my live streams a lot, you already heard about this. But for the new folks, what you do is you give it an inspiration point. In this case, I gave it the Vengeance like drum kit art because I like that very just like center image random thing. Cool. What do you not like about the site? Tell me. Give me some feedback. Tell me what to fix. So here we have Vengeance Essential Club Sounds. Okay, it has the centered image and then it's like text and then it's usually just black on the side. So I gave it this, you feed it an image, you upload an image, and then you type in a prompt. So I'll say create product art, and then I'll say what the product is. So let's say the product is called Maybach Music Group, something like that. I don't know. Whatever, yams. Yum. Yum. All right, so we're gonna hit enter and look how fast this thing generates. All right, so in a matter of seconds, you're going to get product art. And the real reason this is important is because you can iterate through a bunch of product art very fast. So let me download this so I can show you guys. Let's create a new board because this board is very messy. Okay, but this is where I got all my artwork from, is the AI. And I had to go through a bunch of iterations, but I got to the art that I wanted. Okay, and that's how I came up with these covers. So let's go back. Let's create a new project. Let's go to here. Let's call this product art live stream. And now let's upload what we just downloaded, which is the image. Let me switch screens. Let's upload the download. Here it is. Where did I download that? Oh, I created a new folder. Duh. Okay. So here's the Vengeance art. Okay. Just give it an inspiration point and then you click on it. So it adds it as a prompt and then say create product art. For a product, let's call it like vintage, and then tell it something else, which represents vintage synthesizers, something like that, just so it has a little more information because it doesn't know we're music producers, just creating stuff. And what it will also do is give you a little slogan. So not only, now that's kind of whack. I don't know why. I think because I added vintage synthesizers, it made vintage synthesizers. But as you guys can see, that looks like a mini Moog and some other vintage stuff. Now that is not exactly what I wanted, so I'm actually going to delete that. So let's just keep it straightforward. Create product art. Let's give it a name, vintage. And then I'll let it come up with its own. And then you can say, okay, create 7 variations. So now it's generating not only 1, but 7 at a time. Whereas if you go through Google Gemini, Nano Banana will only generate 1 image at a time for the most part, unless you tell it to create like a story or something. Like I do that with my son. I'll say, create a story. Why is this looking different now? Okay, as you guys can see, this is very different than it was before. I don't know what changed on Google side, but this is not code. This is not consistent. You said it looks like every other music beat related site. I feel like folks should look to separate rather than assimilate. Okay. What tool is this? This is called Google Mixboard. Google Mixboard. Cool. And so I don't know why it's giving us random stuff. It was not doing this before, but it will give you ideas. So here's like an 80s style synthwave. Then you got some tube amps here. Then you got some like 70s. You know, it looks small too, by the way, but you can actually click where it says download and it will give you the full res image. So this looks dope. This looks like a real tape machine. That's just a dope image to have in general. Look at how crystal clear this is. This is crazy. And it even has smoke coming out of it. I don't know if that's a realistic thing that would actually happen, but that's pretty dope. So for your drum packs, you might slap this in the background, add a little color overlay. Here, I'll show you guys how I would do it. Now, the best art, let's do this for example. Let's click on this tape machine and let's say add a like a grayish blue, I guess navy blue overlay with text, and then I'll say vintage drums or vintage tape drums. So when you add stuff in quotes, it should add text to the image. And then I'll say create 6 of these. All right, so they gave me, I guess, a bunch of different styles just in the case that I wanted different styles. Now this looks like a real modular set. If I didn't know any better, like this looks like real modular synths right here. It even says Moog. So they clearly trained off of real gear, which is what we actually need them to do. And those look like real cables. Now this cable doesn't lead anywhere, but nobody might even notice that. All right. But the cable, you know, continuity also shows how deep their physics is. All right. So here's somewhat of a better cover. Not the greatest cover. They must have changed something because it was not like this before. They definitely changed something on the back end to where it gives you a little more variation. But here we have an SP1200. I'm not sure it was built by a Kai though. No, it's free. Oh, you could join Google Labs for free. I think I'm on the paid plan of Gemini, so I'm not sure if, I'm pretty sure it's free. How you make 7 picks in 1 click. It's called Google Mixboard under Google Labs. All right, so now I have some product art. Okay, vintage tape drums. That's a cool cover. It could be a little bit better, but that's a cool cover. And you got these. I'll open these up in a second. All right, so let's open these up. Date modified. All right, so this is what I wanted it to do. Now it is a little bland in terms of the style, so you can go back and forth and tell it, okay, I want you to stylize the text, and it will do that for you. And I'll show you guys how I would do that. It even pulled up a different tape machine, a Tascam, for example. So it clearly is now accepting more branded content with way more detail. This one is kind of like a pre-made tape. Okay, so let's go back to this one, this blue one. Yeah, it's little things like, you know, Emu made the SP1200, so it might get that incorrect. But to the average person, they don't know any better. Not that that justifies anything. But we're going to click here and let's go to change text to appear more vintage. Do 6 variations. Okay, so this is how you guys can, and I'll tell you, product art is usually the thing that takes the most time, especially dealing with human developers. It just takes way too much back and forth time. I've spent a lot of money on creative arts and creative services, and I can tell you that was the biggest money drain I've ever spent. And I did not get what I wanted. So when people tell me to go for human services, I'm like, well, humans never get it right. Why am I wasting my money when humans barely get it right? Now I do go to humans for certain things, like for Premiere kits. I bought a service from a designer who does, I think his name is HDR Cover. Who does, let me pull it up. HDR Cover Supply on Instagram, I think is their Instagram. So they do all the covers for Drum Broker, for example. And I was creating a Drum Broker like product. And funny enough, because I worked with this person, HDR Cover Supply, Drum Broker saw it. And then now I'm doing business with Drum Broker directly. So these are small little things you got to learn about business. Is like, you got to, I don't know, you got to support people, but it's deeper than the art sometimes. But this is the kind of art he makes. And, you know, if I want to make products that look like this, then I'll go to him. Now, if I'm just doing a quick little bundle or, you know, one-off product, I'm not going to invest a ton of money into my art. Okay, unless it's super official. So here it tries out different styles. I don't really resonate with these texts, but Google Gemini was never really the greatest about text anyway. Flux was a better model for text. But that's how you guys can do it if that's what you choose to do. I'm just showing you quick stuff. Now, one more thing we're about to do, which I almost forgot, is to zoom in on these images. Boom. So this looks super, super real. All right. Now, there was something else I was going to do. I kind of forgot what the heck I was doing. But yeah, that's how I created my artwork here at busyworksbeats.com/black. I have how many products is this? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 22 products plus, all the depths of the product. So these are technically it's way more than 22 products, but 22 product artworks that I did leveraging AI. So that's how I did it. Now let's open up Photoshop, show you guys how I'd really go about this. And then we'll get back to Sora 2. As you guys can see, it's still generating. So it takes a long time for this to generate. I think I showed you guys all the videos. I skipped a couple. So let's go back real quick. Here's some videos that I generated through Sora 2, the HD version of it. So not the social media version of Sora. So again, the prompt here was a producer sits in front of his speakers. He plays a bad rap beat and the mixing is bad. I'm going to use this as my my mixing course advertisement to teach people how to mix better.
Check it, hold up. That's the drop right there. Crispy. Bass hit it, you hear it? All right, I think that's it.
All right, so that looks very, very real. Next prompt was music producer with purple camo Bape hoodie. I keep forgetting to put the word hoodie. And with shark teeth, fumbles on piano in the music studio trying to come up with a melody. So here's the, so again, I want to show the frustrations of music production because I have real solutions for these things. So basically he doesn't know music theory and I have a solution for this. And that looks like a real Shure SM7B right here. And those look like real Yamaha HS7s, and that probably in the back looks like Studio One or maybe FL Studio. It's hard to tell. And that looks like a real Bape hoodie.
That ain't it. Gotta be smoother than that. Almost.
Now let me run this back. Hold up.
Nah. Come on, man. No, that ain't it. Gotta be smoother than that. Almost. All right, let's try this.
So see how he's just playing random notes because he doesn't know music theory. And it's not as catchy as I would like it to be. Maybe I'll edit that to be a little more punchy, but it's a good start. Thank you, Jess. So it's a good start. Now here's this one is called Music Producer in a Purple Camo Bape Hoodie with Shark Teeth making beats for a rapper in the music studio. And he fumbles on the melody because he doesn't know music theory. The artist gets frustrated and walks out of the studio because the music producer is wasting his time, which is a real scenario. Now, when people walk out on you, they might shut down on you. They might not walk out. But, we have to exaggerate real life problems. So the only issue I found with this video is the main character is talking to the artist and then the artist responds. And then somehow the dialogue continues where only the producer's talking. So it kind of mixes up the characters in terms of who's speaking.
I don't sound right. Hold up. Maybe if I shift it up. Nah, that ain't it either.
Bro, you still guessing? We've been here an hour, man. I'm working on it. Just give me...
Nah. Call me when you got it together.
See the call me when you got it together thing? He was supposed to say it as an artist, but the producer said it. I don't think people would care that much, but...
I don't sound right. Hold up. Maybe if I shift it up. Nah, that ain't it either.
Bro, you still guessing? We've been here an hour, man. I'm working on it. Just give me...
Nah. Call me when you got it together.
So I've noticed with multiple characters, they could potentially mix up the voice dialogue there.
All right, hold up.
Now that definitely looks like FL. This looks like a real console, something you'd find at Patchwork. The lighting looks real with the top-down acoustics. They got the gobos in the back. They got the guitars hanging up in the back behind the vocal booth. All the lighting and reflections look super accurate. Even his jeans look super accurate with this jacket. This varsity jacket pattern. The felt kind of pattern looks very real. The hoodie looks real. Everything looks real. I don't know why he's wearing a wedding ring, though. That looks kind of sketch. I didn't realize that until now. But outside of that, and the one thing that kind of, unless you look very closely, it has like a laptop, but the keyboard is the laptop. So maybe he's laying like a thin keyboard over the laptop. I guess you can get it. But there's a little blurry down here. But that's the only detail that isn't really all the way there. And this even looks like some kind of GoPro video capture thing. So, there's only 1-2 tells out of this whole video if I had to pause it. But if people are watching ads, they're not pausing the ad. Like the ad just plays and then they either hear it or they don't hear it.
Maybe if I shift it up. Nah, that ain't it either.
Bro, you still guessing? We've been here an hour, man. I'm working on it. Just give me...
Nah. Call me when you got it together.
See, the artist was supposed to say, nah, call me when you got it together. But that one looks very real. And now I don't know how to get consistent results character consistency yet. So until I figure that out, now it costs a lot of money to generate this. I ran through $20 in credits very fast. You said the video editor in me can see a lot of potential. Oh, see, he got the skills to chop it up. Busy, can you use backup vocals from Suno if you are using a pro plan? What do you mean backup vocals? Background vocals? If you are using a pro plan and you mix the backup vocals to your taste in the Mixer NFL, I think it requires the Suno Studio. Maybe if you type in background vocals on Suno, it'll pop up. Let's try it real quick. I don't know why I'm sitting here trying to theorize. I'm not sure if it has an option to create just background vocals, but let's try real quick. So on Suno, let's go to create. We're just going to do a normal create where we don't need this, what do you call it? The studio. And let's just say, I'll just say ooh, la, la. Background vocals, I usually tell it to say oohs, lahs, and ahs. Okay, something like that. And then we'll put background female vocal. Now, it doesn't know what to generate, so I'll say background female vocal R&B. So it's going to create a song most likely, but I guess what I'm trying to say is when you are dealing with, here, let's go to this one. When you're dealing with generations, you have to, let me just say, let's just generate it, just see what it creates first before I start going too deep into a theoretic thing. Let's see, ooh, la, 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 and then say oohs and ahs, stuff like that, so that it knows it's a background. I'm not sure there's a button for individual instruments. See, their goal is to get us on Suno Studio. Let's see what they created though. See how it doesn't just create the vocal? Even if we did a cappella, it's not really going to be a background vocal. So let's do that. You said, can you use start to end frame? They do have image to video. Let me see if I don't think there's a start to end frame though. All right, so here's our video about the producer eating pad thai and the sauce drops on the MPC. So he's definitely eating pad thai, but the sauce didn't drop on the MPC. So that kind of, and then I said the beat, craziest beat plays from his HS8. So those do look like Yamaha speakers. So we'll check this in a little bit. But let me X out of here and go to the Explore tab. We're going to go to over here. Let's go to where it says Sora Text to Video Pro. Or no, not text, sorry. Image to Video Pro. And let's see. So I think you're only allowed one image upload, which basically means you only have the starting frame. I don't think they give you an end frame. Now, maybe on a Higgsfield, maybe they do on Higgsfield. You never know. Let me go to a different platform. Let's go to Higgsfield. So on Higgsfield, they have the new Sora 2 model added. So let's go to Sora 2. And it just says one image. Human face is not supported. Okay. And then it says describe. Yeah, so you only get one image in that case. So it says choose a motion. Add an image to get the video. I guess Higgsfield kind of guides you a little bit more cinematically through it. But yeah, so that's that on that. But yeah, let's see what this looks like and sounds like. And then I'll get back to the Suno thing because this live streaming isn't about Suno.
Oh.
Little aggressive sound effects. It's really loud. That was random.
Oh.
Now I'd probably manually go in and add a beat behind the video instead of using their audio. Because that's kind of random. But it does look like the intro to some kind of like vlog or something that the producer's shooting. And it looks like they're about to cut. This is like one of the highlights. So the one thing it missed is that it didn't drop the sauce on the actual MPC. That was kind of the point of the video. So would I go crazy with the HD generations on Sora? Not necessarily. Now I want to show you guys one more thing, which is the HD upscaling. So if you guys are on, platforms like, what are we on? FAL, for example, you can upscale it through Topaz. Let me read your questions real quick. If I pay for your full course, do I get plugins? only for at busyworksbeats.com/black. Not just my regular courses, no. Nope. The software is sold separate. But if you go to busyworksbeats.com/black, I bundled everything in one thing. Can you use start to frame? No. So real quick, let me show you guys some older generations here. I think, let me start. So here's the original. So basically the prompt was, actually, I think I have the original. All right, so here's the original prompt. I skipped one. So the original prompt here is a music producer movie trailer about a music producer who starts by drumming on his school desk, a beat rhythm, with his purple camo Bape hoodie, to him going to, okay, I guess, and it transitions to him going to college and meeting music friends. He writes a hit song and wins some platinum plaque. So again, showing the hero's journey, basically. All right, so if we run this back. Now this is the original quality.
It started with a desk.
So he's wearing a Bape hoodie.
Yo, that rhythm's crazy. You ever think about making a real track?
In a new city, with new friends, he found his sound.
This is the song.
And the world listened.
Now some of the text is going awry, but
and a dream.
Yo, that rhythm's crazy. You ever think about making a real track?
In a new city, with new friends, he found his sound.
This is the song.
And the world listened. It started with a desk.
I mean, this, if you didn't like it, once they clean up the text to be a little more accurate.
And a dream.
Yo, that rhythm's crazy. You ever think about making a real track?
In a new
I mean, it's everything we asked for. Okay, so he starts off in his high school, finger drumming on the desk. He's doing that. Shaquisha eating Cheetos in the background. You got Jalandra behind him, gossiping. Okay, he even has notes in his notebook. Now I'm going in slow motion so we can see frame by frame kind of what's happening. Then it transitions over him into college where he even has a plant on his desk. Look at the lighting. The lighting is insanely accurate. The thing it hasn't gotten done yet, again, it's just product awareness at this point. What does FL Studio actually look like? What does Logic Pro actually look like? So it looks like he's working in Logic, but it's still blurry because they don't have enough images from Logic to train on, I guess. And it looks like a MacBook. You know, it looks like he's drinking coffee. It looks like his bed, even with damage on the bed in the background. Very accurate. Some kind of pin board up here, some mood board. He's stuff hanging up. This looks like a real scenario, okay? And let's just drag through here. Now, there's even a keyboard underneath this desk. His like college desk, his wooden college desk. All right, so that's him in college studying by himself. Now here's him talking to his friends. I've noticed too, these AI generators aren't great at generating teeth. They're really bad at generating teeth for the most part. And I'm trying to find stuff that really pops out as like obvious, but the hoodies look real, the lighting, the daylight lighting, the hair, even his like fine texture of the hair. Like they really mastered the physics of light in this model, that's for sure. Again, teeth could be better, but when this is going at, 30 frames per second, 24 frames per second, nobody's really that focused unless it's a close-up. Now here's the music studio. Again, this is why I get really granular with my requests with the prompts, because I want to see how deep of a niche they've trained. As you guys can see, this console looks real-ish, but in real life, it's not gonna have glowing green faders and like all these light buttons. So that's something I've noticed with AI video generation and image generation for music production stuff is they add a lot of lights to our stuff for some reason, but that's, it's not realistic. Now in the back here, you have like some kind of outboard gear. Now you can't tell what it is, but it looks realistic of a rack unit. And then you have some kind of other console screen back here. So this is like a work desk with a lava lamp, some kind of stacked old speakers. Like it looks real. Like there's flaw in the room. It looks like a vintage room. Kind of lopsided angles in some places. Even the booth behind them has some kind of metallic like mic stand situation going on, and a TV that I can't tell if their TV got cut off or if this is like, I don't know what this little thing is up here. But so far, so real. Okay, and the same characters are in here. So let's go back a couple. So we have some kind of tan kid, black girl. Okay, let's see if they're the same characters in the next slide. So black girl with puffy hair, tan kid, and black guy. So they have consistent characters in this, which is very important. All right, so let's see if he has the same hoodie on. So tan kid has a green hoodie, black kid has a black shirt, and the girl has blue and orange. So same exact outfit. And then the kid goes home to write in his book. Looks like he's using he's definitely using Logic Pro. He has a mic on his desk. He has a pen. He has, the shadow off of his wristband is crazy. His face is consistent. Looks like he even grew some hair. It looks like he's at a bunk bed. Okay. With the freaking blanket hanging down. Like, this is so freaking realistic crazy. Now, this part. Okay, so the black girl still has the blue jacket on with the orange shirt. Black guy has a different outfit on. And the tan kid has the same green hoodie on. And it says open sound night with the reflections of the actual material coming off of this. Crazy. Now here's where it's cool with the lighting. It's back to front lighting here. I don't know the exact term for this. Silhouette lighting. Now the big issue and the biggest flaw is that this looks like gibberish. So they could have created an album art. I guess that is the album art, just a QR code. But if you look closely, you see the reflections of people who are shooting the guy with their iPhone in the reflections here. So they've even reflected people who aren't in the scene off of the plaque. But the issue, though, is the text. It's just like garbly mess. Okay, so that's the only thing about this is that garbly kind of text. But if you look closely, you see that reflection of people in the actual plaque taking film off his iPhone. So this is so detailed, and it reflects the buildings off of the plaque back into the frame. All right, drumline, the beat spelled wrong, coming within. So it's really not good with text just yet. You said busy on the Suno. I meant if background vocals are generated, can you mix them and use it on your own songs? Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, your question was way more simple than I thought. Yes, the answer is yes. I do it all the time. Like for this one, this beat, this is Suno vocal. I did the drums, but it's a Suno sample. So combine all these tools. You got Suno, with augmented music production. You got Sora doing the video. You guys can literally create, maybe not your own movie just yet, because it requires a lot of generations to do a movie. That might be a little costly, and it's going to cost you in terms of the trial and error as well. So just making a 60-minute movie is not just spending the 50 cents per, what is that? So that'd be 60 minutes. What is that? $30? Am I doing the math right? I don't know if I did the math right. Let's pull up a calculator. So let's say it costs 50 cents per minute, and we need 60 minutes. So $30 should technically, in theory, give us, am I doing that right? I feel like I'm not. Oh, it's seconds. Okay, it's 50 cents a second, not a minute. That's why I'm tripping. Okay. Times 60. So actually, to do a 60-minute video would cost you $2,000, which who has the budget to be doing that? And this is the minimum. This is assuming that nothing went wrong. So is it a place where people are going to be generating movies just yet? No, it's not cost efficient. But is it cool for ads? Yeah, I think you can get some hooks out of it for your ads. Now, one more thing I want to show is when I upscaled the same video of that kind of hero's journey, you guys can even see in the text. Now, it didn't necessarily make it better. It just kind of added like a smeariness to it. So as you guys can see, there's a little bit of a quality difference. It got rid of some of the grain. So this is the Topaz video upscaler. I thought it was going to look more HD, but really just kind of blurred everything. Let's run this back. So this is the upscaled version.
It started with a desk and a dream.
Yo, that rhythm's crazy. You ever think about making a real track?
Funny enough, the upscaler made it worse. So just don't use Topaz upscaler. It just blurs everything and makes it look fake. Yeah, it just made it look really bad. So I wasted credits on that. Don't want you guys to waste your credits. It just looks bad. It made it look 10 times worse. All right, so don't do that. But yeah, those are the videos. I'm going to play these one more time just as a little quick recap because the lawn people are coming and they're very loud. So let's play this. Oh. All right, so this guy's eating very loudly. He was supposed to spill sauce on the NPC. I don't know what the heck happened here. Then the beat plays. So let's just look at the visuals. Sorry about the background noise, guys. So here, it's a different style Bape hoodie. It looks more like a jacket, like a thin rain jacket. So it looks very real. His dreads even look real, kind of bouncing in the light. I don't know why he's like a loop of a dread. Oh no, maybe it's an optical illusion. Never mind. His fingernails look real. Let me turn off the sound because his slurping is is a little sketchy. Okay, the pad tie looks very, very, very real in a styrofoam bowl. NPC looks kind of like vintage gear. Maybe not an NPC, but maybe the older versions of the NPC. The purple lighting in the background looks real. I told it to give us HS8s. It gave us Yamaha HS8s. So it knows to a degree our niche of things. Sora's free on their website. This, what I'm using is their API calls for HD video. So this is the paid way of going about it. And let's go to, so this is for HD video. This isn't their social media platform.
Nah. Come on, man. No, that ain't it. Gotta be smoother than that. Almost. All right, let's try this.
All right, so again, I'm going to use these in real ads. So when you guys see these ads circulating, know that they came from Sora 2, the live stream.
That don't sound right. Hold up. Maybe if I shift it up. Nah, that ain't it either.
Bro, you still guessing? We've been here an hour, man. I'm working on it. Just give me.
Nah, call me when you got it together. That don't sound right.
That one's funny. That one feels real. The only mistake it made was mixing up the voices on that one. And then this one's cool, but I can't really use it for an ad because the speaker talks over it.
It started with a desk and a dream.
Yo, that rhythm's crazy. You ever think about making a real track?
In a new city, with new friends, he found his sound.
This is the song.
And the world listened.
I mean, it's dope.
It started with
Like,
a desk and a dream.
Yo.
That's a real dope trailer. Like if the text were right, that would look dope. So I just wanted to show you guys behind the scenes, you know, some of the updates, and just to say I was wrong about Sora. I thought Sora was just the social media platform like this, which is fun to be on here. You know, I kind of got bored of it personally, but people are still generating funny stuff like Tupac. I don't know how to find it though. So that's why I pulled up this guy's video. Actually, he doesn't talk about Tupac. There's another video I just watched. Let me pull it up real fast. So, you know, the videos that you guys are about to see. Let me pull up Lifestyle's video. Shout out to Lifestyle did it. So the video you're about to see, here it is. These are generated before
got to the point.
The what is it called? The copyright guardrails. So I'm trying not to go too deep into concepts. In short, you know, Sora's goal is to not deal with copyrighted stuff for the most part. And they get a lot of complaints, I guess. So in the beginning of Sora, you were allowed to generate SpongeBob stuff, Tupac stuff, Biggie Smalls stuff, until it hit some kind of threshold where they just stopped it and they put the guardrails up. But somehow some people are generating Tupac stuff. I don't know if it's still or if they just generated a lot at once before they put the guardrails up. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is you really can't really do it anymore on the platform. And that's where I showed you the API access to the Sora model, because that goes deeper with that sort of thing. Hold up. So let me show you this video. So here he shows an example of, I think it's Vegas nightlife or something like this. So this is generated on Sora.
So pretty. I'm obsessed. We're heading to dinner first, then maybe a rooftop bar, maybe a club. We don't even know.
Let me turn it up. I didn't realize the volume was that low. Hold up. So again, this is all based on the Sora. Now this looks 16:9, so this is definitely the HD version, and the only way you access this is through the API. That's why I showed you guys the API.
If you can tell at all what is AI and what is not.
So pretty. I'm obsessed. We're heading to dinner first, then maybe a rooftop bar, maybe a club. We don't even know. We're just vibing tonight.
Here we have an incredibly realistic showcase of three girls on a night out in Vegas. Now, I particularly appreciate not just the tone of their voices, but also the shaky camera work, which gives it a real sense of realism. Next up, we have
Yeah, it's pretty dope. So that was one video I wanted to show you, and there's another guy who collected all the Tupac videos people were putting out there, which is funny enough.
Show you some videos. So as you all know, Sora was released too. Released recently. Was it Sora 2? I forget. Sora something. You can make AI videos with it with prompts, and the videos are pretty fucking good. They're pretty fucking good. So let's start with this. Here we have.
I just realized my camera's covering him. My bad.
You have Tupac and Elvis and Kobe Bryant all in Cuba, among some other things. Let's watch.
All right, everybody in? Say Habana. 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 Boom.
Got it. Man, that's a keeper right there. We looking sharp, fellas. Gotta get a little video too. Back out. Ready? Go. Let's see, man. Come on, Pop. Try to keep
Tupac racing Kobe.
Yo, what's good? We out here in Havana, man. Streets colorful, sun on us. Got my guy with me. What's up, people? Towering over Pac like always. I think these balconies almost my height, though. He don't fit in none of these cabs, man. We gotta walk it out.
So these are vertical, which means these were done on the actual Sura app. How they did it, I have no idea because they put up the guardrails. But these people look exactly like Tupac, Michael Jackson, Kobe Bryant. I don't know how they allowed them to get away with. That means they are trained on this, but now they put up some kind of sensory thing around it. So I'll keep trying to generate these on my own time. But this is, again, it just shows that it's done. So I can't wait until there's a version of this where it's not so censored. I'm so tired of celebrity censorship. It's annoying. Somebody's argument was that it was, there's people's estates that are, it's like, what does this have to do with the Tupac estate? How's this going to mess up people listening to Change or his song? What's a Tupac song everybody listens to? Hit 'Em Up, or whatever the Tupac song is. I don't see this doing anything to his legacy. It's people having fun. Like, and also too, who created the lie that music is just going to feed generations of generations? Like, who created that lie? It's based on attention. Like, if people don't care to listen to certain music, then that's what it is. It's not going to last forever in generations and generations. And his heirs, I'm not speaking on his family, but his heirs, maybe they need to get their own career, like, instead of living off the past of Tupac. And I'm not saying that to offend the families of Tupac. I'm saying this to say, who created the lie that when you make a hit music career that you're supposed to pay every generation from here to 1,000 years later? Who created that? Because we're in a whole different time. We're not in the print CDs time. We're not in the print tapes time. We're not in the gatekept time. We're in a time where, AI accelerates faster than human production. And we're in a time where you have infinite competition every single day for attention, let alone product building. So it's like, who created this narrative that you create one album and it's just going to live forever? Like, who created the live forever thing? Even, let's take it away from music. When you make YouTube videos and somebody passes like a Kevin Samuels, now somehow somebody's like working his channel some type of way. But if nobody was working his channel, who's to say Kevin Samuels would continue being influential? Just because it's up on YouTube doesn't mean that those servers can't go down or that the world won't move to a different platform. Putting stuff out doesn't mean it's going to live forever. So I don't know who created that narrative, because that's like a really false narrative. And to use that as an argument against AI, you got millions of people enjoying AI, and then you got a couple people benefiting off of his estate. I don't see how this even damages the estate at all. Even if you generated Tupac music, how does that, people still want to listen to Hit 'Em Up, no matter if there's a billion Tupac wannabes, okay? Even if you listen to Lil Zane, you're not taking away from Tupac's Hit 'Em Up. That's just not happening. I think too, here's a little AI rant. People don't understand music is about copyrights. The whole word is copy rights, okay? So that means if I take a copy of what you're doing, you have rights around that. But we're not taking a copy of what you're doing. And, nobody addresses that problem either.
Couch, y'all believe this?
Hi, everyone.
Like, for example, there's a difference between a cover and an interpolation versus a master recording in your sample. Like, if Suno was using Tupac clips in their actual outputs, then you have an argument to say, okay, you're infringing copyrights. If somebody's doing something in somebody's likeness, what does likeness even mean? Now you own the stomp piano because Britney Spears used it in her production. Now she owns that sound. Like, how granular are we going to get with this ownership thing? Like, unless you are specifically using that person's song. And now we can even argue names, name, image, and likeness. Because I feel like if you're using it for parody, how's that not fair use? Isn't that the whole point of fair use? Is like, how can, what is it, Mad TV used to make those covers with all the celebrities on it? They were making fun of the celebrities. They got away with that because of fair use.
We just
Fidel Castro, Michael Jackson, and Tupac.
hanging out, keeping it simple. Simple yet historic, my friend. Salute.
Yeah, salute. No politics. Yo, what's good out here in Havana? Sun on my face, and look who I just ran into.
Peace, everyone.
The dragon himself, Bruce Lee. No cap, this is real life.
So I don't know. I'll ask you guys. To me, this is still slightly in the uncanny valley. I will say, nailing it. I've ever.
We out here vibing, old car.
Come on, bruh. But yeah, you guys can check out this guy on YouTube. His name is Secular Talk, and the other channel was AI Samson. Just wanted to show you guys those examples because those are coming from the actual Sora app. What I'm showing you guys is the horizontal videos are coming from the API access. All right, so he says, if Suno recreates my piano melody, can I use that in TV and film? TV and film tends to stay away from anything loop related. The copyrights are owned by somebody else. I mean, they could probably hear it. When you send it to a supervisor, they're going to hear, like, does that sound like a real piano? They're probably going to hear it and be like, I don't know. It just depends on the library. But I talked to Donald Passman. You guys should watch my interview with Donald Passman. Type in Donald Passman BusyWorks beats. It will pull up a video. Let me see if I can pull it up myself. And he talks about AI rights, okay? Donald Passman BusyWorks beats. Because like I said, the fine line that people are trying to claim is that anything that sounds remotely like somebody should be in the likeness of somebody else. So for example, if I make it boom, 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 now I'm in the likeness of Bad Boy Music just because they sample something from the 60s. Like, how far down can somebody own the sound of something? Like, that's getting a little too monopolistic, in my opinion. Because then you have no keys, no scales, no melodic movements we could use if everything's just copyrighted all the way down to a 3-note sequence. Does Sora watermark all the videos? Not on the API version, but on the platform. They watermark the videos. So that's how you kind of get around it, is you use the API. But it's very expensive currently. DBZ says, just play the video. If Suno, yeah, you're a beat dude, but you really promote AI. Do I promote it? Am I being paid to promote AI, or am I just talking about something that's technology? I mean, if FL Studio came out with some kind of technology, I talk about that. If Logic Pro came out with some technology, I talk about that. But they don't innovate. They don't create anything. I talk about people who are innovating, pushing business forward. It just currently happens to be the AI companies. When Web3 was pushing people forward, I talked about Web3. So I'm trying to keep you guys on the forefront of what's actually happening. I can't let people get left behind just because they're scared of just nonsense. I made the argument in a separate live stream about just the whole AI thing. I made the argument in a separate live stream. And people are like, their ultimate kind of retort is like, okay, was based around theft. Like Suno, for example, they're saying because Suno stole. And like I said, anytime we're saying Drake type beat, then you have to immediately turn your entire channel off. Because now we're talking about likeness. So if you're saying that somebody stole something because it trained on the data to find patterns, it's like saying it looked in the sky and it knows what the color blues are. So it's studying patterns. And I think the further we get down to it, people are hypocrites with this whole against AI thing. Everybody's a hypocrite, including myself at some points. But I just think the whole theft thing is a very bad argument. Because if you truly understand how AI is generating music, it's not copying a snare from your track and pasting it. That would be copyrights because it's copying something out of your beat, your master recording. It's not doing that. DBZ says, busy download for those. Busy download for those. No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to go against the company that I work with. Hell on Earth says you can make 16:9 videos on the official Sora site, by the way. It's in prompt settings. Sick. Do they put watermarks on it? Also, I don't have the pro account. DBZ says Sora is in beats. I wasn't around when you were talking about other tech. Oh, yeah. But Sora lets us do what we do better. I could sit here and try to do skits all day, but I'm not a skit guy. I'm not funny. Some days I'm out of shape. Maybe I want to use my AI video as a hook for an ad. That helps me get business. So I'm showing you guys how to stay up on business. And a lot of these tools are AI generated tools. A Mixboard, AI generated. Sora, AI generated. But it helps us do what we do faster and better, in my opinion. So watch this video. Me and Donald Passman, I interviewed him.
Step into Wix.
Dang, as soon as I hit play. You rewind on YouTube, you get hit with the ad. News about them, raising. So this is me and him talking, and he gives his. Here, I'll link it in the chat actually. So I'll even read these comments. Okay, Dark Ethereal says AI does not create, it imitates. If he were understanding of what AI actually does, and I'll be short about this because there's too much information around this. What AI does is it takes in inputs, it studies a pattern of the in-between of the inputs. Remember, everything is zeros and ones. It's all numbers at the end of the day when it's digital, okay? So what it's doing is it's studying the patterns of zeros and ones. And it says, okay, I found a pattern, a consistent pattern between this thing and that thing. That's basically what AI is doing. Now, when that's its analyzing station, its analyzing phase. Then whenever you put in something into a machine, the machine learning studies the patterns. Then the output is called generative AI, which we're talking about Suno at this point. So not only does it do inputs, which is machine learning, it does outputs. And this is called generative AI. So generative AI, there's different ways. Let me see if I can find the more modern ways. Do music AI generators only use autoregressive modeling? I'm sure there's a newer way to do it now. Okay, music generators not solely use autoregressive modeling. They employ a variety. Okay, so now there's diffusion models, variational. There's all types of models. And I wish I could show you guys a white paper. This guy outside, just cut the grass and move on. He's sitting, like, bruh. They're here every day. The grass has not grown 1 inch. They're here every single day. Okay, music AI generator. Let's find a white paper for autoregressive. This is getting really geeky, but might as well show you guys. So there's different ways to go about it. I think we found one. Efficient autoregressive audio modeling. So again, I'm not an expert, but here we have an article by some folks. It says efficient autoregressive audio modeling via next scale prediction. So basically what it does is it takes a data point called a sample, what we call sample points. So if I went to FL, of course I don't have FL ready. Let me open up FL real quick. All right, now to me, when somebody says stealing, they literally mean copying a file and pasting a file. So if I just do this, clone it, rename it, that's stealing. Now what AI is actually doing is, in some modeling, this is not everything. Let's record the 808 in. So what it does is it takes, again, it does all the machine learning, okay? Autoregressive means it will zoom in all the way down to the sample point. So this is the math behind the AI, for example. It will zoom all the way down to these little dots. These are called ticks or samples. And it will take one value. In this case, this has a voltage value, okay, in dB in this case, in amplitude, okay? So it just has that. That's all it has. It doesn't know pitch. Samples don't know pitch. Pitch is when you do these faster and it creates a faster wave. All it knows is amplitude. Okay. So we're taking this sample and once you have two samples, you can kind of calculate and forecast the third sample. I can't make this any bigger, can I? Okay, here we go. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So I don't know if you guys, I can't zoom in past this point, but basically we have two sample points. Okay, now what AI is doing is saying, okay, from these two sample points, let's guess the third sample point. Is it going up in amplitude or down in amplitude? So it goes up in amplitude. This is called calculus at a core level. It goes way deeper into math. I don't even know what it's called, but you know, this is what we do in calculus. We try to calculate the curvature or the area underneath the curve. Okay, by predicting the next dot or the next sample point. That's all AI is doing, is going backward and then forward to predict the next point until it generates something completely different than the 808. Now, if it happens to turn out with the same 808, that doesn't mean it copied and pasted the first 808. For example, if there's a Zaytoven, or excuse me, if there's a Spins 808, where is that? I don't think I have it. Spins 808. And I just happen to sound design an 808 that just happens to sound like Spins 808. Did I copy Spins 808 or does it just happen to sound like Spins 808? It's a whole new thing. So now we're getting into, does Spins own the 808 just because he made the 808? Like, how far down are we going with audio? They want to control like name and likeness. And the reason they want to control this is not because of us as the artist. It's because the people who own the catalogs want to not have to work and do the actual hard work. They never want to hop in a studio. They never want to network. They never want to be the producer. They just want to invest their money and get paid over time. So they want to put up all these safeguards so that nobody can mess up their investment. That's what it comes down to. It has nothing to do with artists and integrity and ethics and all this type of stuff. So when people say steal, I'm like, what is your definition of stealing? Like, if I copy and paste the file, yeah, but that's not what AI is doing. So let's open up the PDF, the white paper on how this kind of works. Now, again, I'm not an expert, so don't quote me. But like I said, in calculus, what do? We use these rectangles to start to roughly calculate the value underneath a wave or a curvature. You guys have done this if you take, high school calculus. Shout out to AI, American Illuminati. So I haven't done this in a minute. Glad I just wish people wouldn't demonize it so much because it's just ignorance. I wish people just had a more educated stance on it instead of just, it's stealing. How's it stealing if it's generating from scratch based on estimations? Okay. So that's the gist of it. I'm not going to get into all of this, but basically that's what it's doing. It's doing math to guess the next point. That's it. Now let me find a better picture because these data points aren't going to really help my argument here. I don't know what all these numbers mean. Being honest with y'all, this is some maths and science that I can't comprehend. All right, and then there's different layers of these calculations. So let me try to find a white paper on diffusion models and then VAEs. VAE, audio generation, white paper. And then we'll do diffusion model. So there's even different ways to approach. And some people approach it to where they're not doing these like take a sample point, guess the next one. They're using, I think it's the diffusion style. Takes white noise and it chisels out frequencies from the white noise. That's what I think diffusion does, but I could be way off. And here's what is audiovisual speech enhancement. I don't know what this is. I don't think this is what we're looking for today. Okay, so this is looking at the harmonics of a sound, which separates different tones from each thing. Like a sawtooth from a square wave is all just the harmonic build of it. So it takes that into consideration, does some kind of neural network stuff, and then it creates a sample point. All right, so it takes speech, it looks at the harmonics, does some neural network matching from its database, and then it puts it out as a definitive tick or a sample. So that's how I see that. Let me see here. And then I guess they measured how the mouth moves and then the different. So when it says 512 nodes, I believe they're talking about the partials of a sound. And I'm guessing because that's a very similar, if you guys open up Serum, for example. That's why when you study audio, you pretty much know like the deeper level of waves. You guys are studying some magical stuff. So in Serum, these are called partials or harmonics, okay? And it goes all the way up to 512. So the 512th harmonic, sound goes all the way up to 512. So when this article talks about 512 nodes, I think they're talking about the partials of a sound, like the different harmonic structures you can get out of a sound. Now, a lot of the harmonics we can't even hear as humans because they're so far out of our frequency range, we can't hear them. Like if I go into Serum one more time and I create a sine wave. So let's go out of here. I know we're getting kind of in the weeds right now, but hold up. Okay, so here's a sine wave, just one fundamental frequency. If I add harmonics, you get different tones out of the sound. Okay, now if I add a fundamental frequency and then add a frequency way up here, it's so high of a frequency you cannot hear it. Like even that one you can't hear. Like that's really, we're only at the 56th harmonic here. And it's super high. Now imagine the 512th harmonic, like 10 times this, you're not going to hear it as a human. So there are certain frequencies in our sound that we can't even see. Okay, and that's what the machines are studying. So it doesn't matter how great of an ear you have, you're not hearing this. But it definitely does something to the actual audio waveform in terms of modulation. So that's what these scientists are studying, is how to comprehend all these variations in every single tone. Because you can vary in terms of the partials of a sound, but you can also vary in the amplitude of the partials of a sound. And then also too, you can vary in the phase of the partials of a sound. So there's 3 different main components of a sound. Some people will call it 3-dimensional. And those can change per sample, per tick. Okay. And also too, you have amplitude in general. So there's that too. You said I like how they demonize it with AI. It leaves them behind and me ahead. Yeah, I guess that's the benefit, is like they could demonize it all they want. If they want to not push forward in their business, all fine. You don't have to use Suno if you don't want. You don't have, and it's not just about audio. It's about just business. Like, you don't have to use Sora for your ads if you don't want. Do it the hard way. Fine with me. Whatever works, works. Maybe ads that are human work better. Who knows? I've seen plenty AI ads run on my YouTube that they're still running. I'm like, who is, and it's the monotone voice too. If you are a person who knows somebody who has been in a severe whatever, then you need to check this video out. And it's just like some person where the teeth doesn't match. This is how I lost 17 pounds in 3 minutes. But those ads are successful. Now, maybe they're talking to old people, so that's why it works better. But I mean, if you're threatened by somebody else's music skill, you need to worry about the 10 million people who are already better than you. There are 10 million people already better than you right now. What are you going to do about them, let alone AI? You're worried about the wrong thing. My Discord could probably kill you in a beat battle. What does that change, though? That doesn't change any part of the business. So I just want people to be educated, look a little deeper into stuff. All right, we are going to wrap this live stream. Unless you guys have questions, we're going to wrap it. But I showed you guys the examples for Sora. I just wanted to kind of take it into a deeper conversation. I don't want to sound like I'm belittling people either. It's just nobody's making a solid argument as to what they are afraid of. Like, what is the actual? Nobody's making a good argument. The only argument I've heard is that the only way these platforms train is based on our material. It's like, okay, but if I go outside and I study the patterns of the stars and I make a product about constellations, do I now owe the universe royalties? Like, how many things were based on nature? The way a beetle shines, I'm sure, inspired some metallic materials we use. The way ants work, inspired some organizational charts. So it's like, how deep down the rabbit hole are we going down this whole thing? The whole copyright thing was created by, like I said, people who want to monopolize the playing board. They use copyrights. Okay, it's not for the artist's favor. It's for the monopolies. And I'm not demonizing copyrights either. I just think people are extending the definition of copyright into things that are fair use, which is doing a cover of somebody's art. That would be compositional, leveraging the composition of somebody's work. But in this case, we're not even, like I said, when you understand how AI works, it's not copying and pasting your chord progression. That's not what it's doing. It's looking at general patterns. And there's only but so many patterns we have in music. I just really think the music and copyright conversation is overly, overly, they overreach a lot. DB's, you know what? My chat's not, my bad. I thought the chat was up. Boom. There we go. He said, nope, you're living in a fake fantasy. I mean, I could sit here and go back and forth, but I already made the argument, which is if you use melodic loops, you're immediately disqualified from this conversation. If you use one-shot samples, you're immediately disqualified from this conversation. Why? It's because you didn't make those. So if you didn't make those and you didn't attribute the creator of those sounds and you didn't pay them a royalty, then you can't make music. If you didn't make your doll, you can't make music. if you're getting down to that bit of a granular approach, if you use Splice, you can't argue about AI because you're using somebody else's intent in your beat that had no intent to be there. Hip hop by definition is using somebody else's song. And literally some people would just loop somebody else's song. That's copying because you're taking the master recording and looping it. If I studied the patterns of a R&B song, and I said, okay, they tend to play D minor 9. Now, if I play those 3 chords, now I owe the Jill Scott estate because I played the same chords. Like, how deep down the rabbit hole does this copyright thing go? I feel like music tends to, especially with that Robin Thicke and Pharrell case with the Marvin Gaye time, like it had the same groove. So now we're going to copyright groove. That's the monopoly coming down on the creative. That's not the creative losing out to another creative. That's the monopoly coming down on people. DBZ says, my only argument against YouBusy is to have the AI guys teach AI, but I want you to leave these guys in the dark for AI so people like us who are on top of it utilize it. Should be lifting everybody. But no, the AI guys, I mean, they're teaching Suno and they don't make beats. So how are you teaching me Suno and you don't know anything about music? I think some of the AI guys, I'm not criticizing them because they put me on. But a lot of the AI guys are very like, they're top down. They're not like down up view. And I think they're missing a lot of core details, especially when it comes to the AI music stuff. Now they could tell me how to prompt, Google Gemini all day, but that's, unless it dramatically changes my business. There's a lot of stuff in AI that's not changing the business of anything. It's just fun to use, but it's not changing business. DBZ, AI is demonic. So anything that you disagree with is demonic. So if you don't like chocolate cake, it's now demonic because you don't like it. Just explain what demonic is and what godliness would be in your case. So here's the, I think the diffusion way of going about it, which is to use white noise to start to chisel out harmonics. So this is white noise on the right. This is harmonics on the left. This one's 48 pages. Goodness, 48 pages of research. So here's their way of going about it. They take white noise and then they start to chisel out. That's what diffusion is. That's why when you generate some images from diffusion models, it will start very grainy and then it'll start shaping from whiteness to like blurriness to more blurriness to more blurriness. And then it turns into a shape. That's the diffusion approach to audio generation. So when people say they're like, if we're talking copyrights, you literally mean you're copying my 808 spins file to another file. That's not how AI works. So when people say theft, how do you define theft? If I see somebody do this and then I do it myself, that's theft because I moved the same way they moved. Like, so it's definitely going to spawn a deeper conversation around copyrights in general. So I'm waiting. I can't wait for to see it. You said it can be programmed to be. So what if, like I said, what if it is? What if it is? Like I said, do you believe that we're the only people in the entire universe? There's nobody above humans? I mean, if that's what you believe, then yeah, you'd be scared of AI being smarter than you. If you believe in aliens, then you essentially believe in sentient AI or something smarter than you. And they were smart enough to leave this earth and go somewhere else. There's different, like, I forget, Michio Kaku talks about the different phases or different stages of planetary civilizations. I forget all the terms for it, but it's like you have a civilization that masters their solar system. Then you have a civilization that masters the galaxy. Then you have a civilization that masters multiple galaxies. So it's like, if that's what we believe in terms of evolution, if humans are really trying to be godlike, well, God is, if he can make a universe in 7 days that has trillions and trillions and trillions of things, why are we worried about one Earth out of trillions of Earths? We haven't even mastered the one Earth yet. So if we want to be like God, so to speak, then we got to evolve. We can't keep focusing on Earth. There's a trillion things out there. That's why Tesla has such a strong conviction behind it, because people are like, to evolve as a human race, human species, we got to get out, started getting across these galaxies. We were created to be slaves for the gods of this world. How do you know this? Where's your proof? And what would the gods of the world need us to do on this planet? What are they trying to extract from Earth? What do they need humans for? If they left Earth, if they're that smart to leave Earth, what do they need humans for? What are we working for? Because all of our inventions aren't leaving Earth, so where is it going? It's not going to them. Where's proof of trillion Earths? I was just throwing out a number. I just said trillion Earths. Let's ask Grok how many Earth-like, I think there's a couple known Earth-like planets. How many Earth-like planets are likely to exist? Now, we don't know any, exact number, so I'm going to let Grok explain it. All right, he's defining Earth-like. Okay. I should have said inhabitable, but whatever. Grok, just give me a number. Sometimes you just got to talk to it crazy. Grok, just give me a number. It's giving me a whole dissertation. 2 sextillion is what Grok says. So Earth-like planets, 2 sextillion. That's definitely higher than a trillion, right? 2 sextillion. That's a lot of Earth-like planets. And what if we get so evolved where we don't even need Earth? We can live off of some kind of gas fumes. That's what people think. Now we're getting into esoteric land, and I'm going to end this live stream soon. But think of it this way. When people say the ancestors and all this, sometimes people are talking about a people that were so advanced that they live eternally by using us as avatars, almost like a puppet behind the string. They exist in a higher dimension, something that we can't perceive yet because we're in these physical bodies. But they still exist. Their consciousness exists, but they're using our physical bodies to complete actions the same way I use AI tools to do AI stuff. Maybe there's some higher being, higher than our awareness, that controls us. I mean, technically, we're run by 95% as a subconscious mind, so we really don't control our day anyway. It's based off of habits and what we're taught and conditioned to do. So what if the greater being is messaging us to condition us for its own will and intent? So it's conscious, but it doesn't have a physical body. That's where we get into esoteric land. But he said there isn't proof that Earth is round. One real picture. We have more than 100 plus. NASA lie, Google lie too. Don't have proof that the world is round. So you're a flat earther, and you think AI is the devil? Man, can I sell you a dream on dinosaur bones? I'm just playing. I don't know all the arguments for flat Earth. I don't know all the arguments for, NASA and all these things. My greater thing is like, does it matter if it's flat or not? What does that solve? I guess some people think we're trapped inside of this thing. We slave to create anything they can think of. But if we can't get spaceships to go to the moon, what are they taking from Earth? And why do they need to use Earth so much? If they're so smart, why don't they go to their own planet and build their own stuff? Have AI do it. I have so many questions, especially with alien stuff. Like people are like, oh my God, did you see that flying saucer alien? I'm like, why are aliens still flying around Earth if they have the ability to travel multiple galaxies away? What are they just chilling around Earth doing? There's nothing, like if they're that advanced, why even come back to Earth? That's like going back to your hood that you escaped. Who said I'm a flat earther? I need one real picture of round Earth. I see your argument. You're kind of like, what's the argument? Innocent until proven guilty. All right, y'all, I'm going to end this live stream because we're into stuff that I don't even be studying every day. So I got to be out of here and preserve my voice. If you don't know already, go to busyworksbeats.com/black. I have the greatest bundle I've ever created. All in one. Go to busyworksbeats.com/black. I'll keep you guys updated.